So maybe we should say thank you to keep the conversation going on. So again, I think I know I can say how to say thank you in Malay. So this should be a great feature, which is terima kasih.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah.
And in Bangkok, Thai, it is kopken krab. So
Wow.
in Spanish, I would say for all of you, it's gracias. In Portuguese, it is obrigado. And then now we need in your own language, Gaurav.
Yeah, it's a bit tough. I will say it's dhanyawad.
Wow, that's one I would need a lot of repetition. But by the way, the same year in Bangkok and in Kuala Lumpur, so it was a lot of repetition till I got there. So I'm sure that I can learn that. Could you repeat again, if you don't mind?
It's dhanyawad.
Okay.
Awesome. Maybe I will just write in the chat.
Yes, it helps a lot. That's only when I see it. When I see, I can start repeating. Dhanyawad. Almost there. You see, I'm getting a professional on saying hello and thank you. Yeah, and we are live. So welcome to our audience globally. So today we are based in Bangkok, concluding our Asian ScaleUp Academy roadshow. So it's been a lot of fun just coming out of ABBA Talent, where we ran the workshop. And we are here with an amazing panel, ScaleUp Heroes. So ScaleUp Heroes, where we bring the best minds with the best real life experiences when it comes to scaling up businesses. They are heroes that took on difficult odds and live to tell the tale. So your host, Ryan Foland, is taking some days off, and that's why you are seeing myself, Mike. Yeah, I'm here with you today to discuss scaling product. In order to see another episodes of ScaleUp Academy and of the ScaleUp Heroes podcast, you can visit scaleupacademy.io/heroes, and you'll get access to all the podcasts, or on our Facebook page where you are now. And yeah, feel free to see all the weekly podcasts that we cover different topics of some of the best scale-ups from San Francisco to New York, Madrid, Berlin, Singapore, Malaysia, etc., etc. So I will just introduce and thank you so much to our panel today and our moderator, Ivy, and the head of product at iMoney Group. And Ivy, thanks so much for joining us today, and feel free to run the show.
Right. Thanks, Mike. Very excited to be here. So let me just give a quick intro about myself. I'm Ivy Wan, the head of product at iMoney. iMoney is a financial comparison website. We aim to educate consumers on financial matters, help people compare and apply for financial products on our website, like a credit card or a personal loan. So iMoney is based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and we operate across 4 markets in Southeast Asia, and we are present in Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and Philippines. So that's a quick introduction about myself. With me today, I have 3 panelists. So let's get to a round of introduction. Let's start with Blanca.
Okay, well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's always great to have the opportunity to learn from others and share our experiences. Well, I'm currently leading the product team at Spotahome. The product team is made of product managers and UX in our case. And to tell you a little bit more about Spotahome, we are an online rental site for mid to long-term accommodation. And our mission since we started 4 years ago is to reinvent the real estate. We want to make it more transparent, make it fair, make it just instant and easier in general for everyone that is involved in the rental process. So that means landlords and tenants. In order to provide that transparency, we have a team of what we call home checkers, which is a team of people that visit in person our properties, and they verify them, and then they create virtual tours of our properties, providing high quality material like photos, 360 videos, HD videos, so that our users don't need to visit the property in person. So we are located in Madrid, but we have properties around 33 cities in 17 countries. And we recently received, raised a funding round of 40 million led by Kleiner Perkins. Overall, we've raised, I think, about $72 million so far. So this is really putting us in a good position to prepare to continue to scale.
Yes, that's very good. Congratulations on the funding. Okay. Next, let's get a round of introduction from Rafa.
Yes. Well, first of all, hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be part of this panel with you guys. I'm Rafa Pulido. I'm the VP of Product at Geoblink. So we are a location intelligence startup. We are based in Madrid. We're targeting the Spanish market, the French market, and the UK. So our product is changing how retail companies, real estate companies, and FMCG companies work and how they make decisions using mainly big data and advanced analytic techniques like machine learning, for example. What we do is basically we remove all the complexity with these techniques, and we allow our clients to make better decisions using this advanced technology. So for example, with retailers, we help them identify the best location for their next opening, for example, or for FMCG companies, we help them define the product mix for each one of the point of sales. So as a company, we're growing fast. We just passed the 50 people mark, we just got the Series A recently as well. So the product team is at the moment is 3 product managers and 3 product designers. Although the tech leads, they play a huge role. They are very close to the product team as well.
Great. Again, congratulations on your Series A. Okay, next, Gaurav, would you like to say a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. Again, first of all, thank you very much. It's great to be in the like-minded people. I'm looking forward to the session. So yeah, my name is Gaurav. I am basically in Berlin and I'm working for Zipjet. It's an online mobile laundry and dry cleaning company. So we are based out of 3 cities, London, Berlin, and Paris. And we are in the Berlin office. And I am responsible for the product, both front end, which is customer applications, and the back end, which I will say is kind of the core of our business, because we are kind of trying to solve the logistical problem. You have to imagine that every time we are doing an order, we are going one time to do the pickup and second time to do the drop off. So we have to really kind of optimize our whole process of supply chain to make sure that we are saving on every single cent, because that matters. So we are, I will say, a small team. We are around, if I just talk about IT product, we are around 13 people with myself heading the product. And then there are IT engineers, then there are backend guys. There are front-end iOS, Android native guys, and then there are 2 junior product managers with whom we are building up a product. We are planning to expand into different European cities by end of this year and early next year. So looking forward to maybe go into Madrid and say hello to Rafa and Blanca. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Gaurav. Okay. So let me give a brief overview about today's session. So as product leaders, we have a vision, a roadmap on how to build the product and how the business will be in the next 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months. Now comes the delivery of the roadmap. In the first few months of a startup, the decision is fairly straightforward. The focus will be on building new stuff and growth. But as you mature, other parts of the business comes into play. So you have application maintenance, server maintenance, production bugs, customer feedback. So today we will get insights from 3 product leaders on how to structure a product team to support the business as it scales. All right, so let's dive into the first question. How do you organize your product team to deliver new initiatives and at the same time balance against the BAU operational maintenance and bugs? Rafa, would you start?
Yeah, sure. So here at Geoblink, what we do is we organize the teams around a product initiative. So we have cross-functional squads with a clear mission. And then within those squads, we have different roles. 3 of them are quite important. So one is the product manager, who is more business focused in a way. We have the product designer role. which is helping us to really understand the user and doing the validation, all the prototyping and so on. And then the technical manager, which is the link from the technical team to make sure that first, our ideas is something that we can build. And then more importantly, it's something that we can maintain and especially scale very fast. As the company grows, we need to be able to scale the product. Apart from this way of organizing the teams, we have specific roles linked to specific people. So one role which is very important for us is the owner of the product market fit for a country. And it's very important because that role collects all the feedback from the different stakeholders for that specific country. It's helping with the rollout of new features, is analyzing the competitors, getting the intelligence from the market. And it's also dealing with all these operational requests and all this, all this noise. And I think, in my opinion, really helps to for the team, for the rest of the team, to really focus on what's important rather than the urgent stuff, which is like a lot of noise.
Yeah, most of the time, every feedback that comes from the business, everything is urgent, right? So a role like this definitely helps, and it makes sense. Right. Thanks. Gaurav, would you go next on explaining how you structure the team?
Yeah, sure. So what we do here at Zipjet is we follow something like a principle which was originated in Silicon Valley, I will say, the principle of OKRs. So what we do is that we collect every quarter our main OKRs, what we want to do. And this is where the whole, I will say, thing matters. How? Because we do talk to a lot of users. We do talk to our customers. So users who are, for example, our drivers or our facility guys, and the customers who are using our apps or website to place orders. And then we try to find out like the melting point where we have to, go further and further to improve our business KPIs. Because every time you can see that there are the whole business linked to one or two major KPIs which we want to improve. And then we find out the top level, of course, based on different factors such as how much return on investment it will be, how much time it will take, what is the value add going to be, etc., etc. So, and then we collect a list of, let's say, product initiatives and the ideas, and then we work out around on it. Then we divide our team. So for example, if I am the one who is, let's say, doing something like feature 1, then I completely work with my engineering team. And similarly, the other guy who is doing feature 2, he's working on his team. So this is how we divide our, I will say, OKRs and the product initiatives. And then the bugs and all these things are definitely the part of the whole, I will say, ecosystem. And sometimes you have to really prioritize them, because if they are really critical, let's say a customer is not able to pay or something, this we need to definitely fix. So this we put in our, for example, existing sprint and continue the existing sprint, let's say next week or something like that. It depends on the flow, how it is. So
Right.
a kind of a rough overview of how the things we are working on.
Right. Thanks for sharing. So Gaurav, you're saying that in Zipjet, teams are structured around OKRs. At the same time, there will be maintenance, production bugs, and these will be absorbed by the same team and just planned according to their sprint backlog and prioritized accordingly. Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Very good. Okay, Blanca, how about Spotahome?
Well, first thing, I have to say that our team structure has evolved a lot since we started 4 years ago. So at the beginning, there was just one team. It was made of engineers. So they were actually playing the dual role of being an engineer and a product manager. And then we started splitting into different responsibilities. And like 1.5 years ago, we introduced the role of the product managers. So at the moment, our current structure is organized in 2 big areas. So the first area is the customer area, where we have teams that are focused on providing features and looking after the end-to-end experience of our end customers. So that would mean our tenants and our landlords. And then we have other teams that belong to the operational area, who are building features for our internal users. So that would be our home checkers that we mentioned earlier and our internal agents. So this way, having 2 different areas of responsibility, we ensure that we can progress on end features for the end users, while in parallel we can progress building our internal systems and our tools for our agents. So apart from that, we also have a platform team that normally we're trying to, this team goes like one step ahead, so that they are preparing the platform for scalability, for efficiency. So we have teams working on actual features and teams working on the platform. So when it comes to bugs, normally what we do is per sprint, we allocate some time for bugs. And as Gaurav said, if there's something urgent, we obviously make room for it. And then we also allow some time in our roadmaps, which we prepare every 6 weeks for technical depth. So that we also ensure that we're not building that technical debt that will ultimately create more bugs as it grows. So this is the way we more or less organize our day-to-day.
So were you involved in the evolution from engineering team, to splitting to product manager? How was that like?
So, well, I've been here for 6 months, but when I joined is when we actually split the products and technology as 2 different orgs. Okay. So we now have a head leading the product team and a head leading the technology team, which he was with one of the founders, Brian, and he's the CTO as well. And I have to say it's working really well. And what I really like is that the engineers that work at Spotahome, because they were actually owning the product since the beginning, and the majority of them, you can see how engaged they are in the product because they were making those type of decisions at the beginning. So it's easy to work with them. In that case.
Very good to know that the transition is very smooth. Usually a split like that would have some sort of friction, but glad to know that it's working out very well for you.
It's working well in terms of ownership. Obviously, there's some friction sometimes because it's also like now decisions are being made by different people in some cases. So, but we are all nice people and we solve our issues.
Okay, that's good.
Geoblink, yeah, so at Geoblink, we have kind of similar structure where we have a VP of tech and VP of product. And one of the things that is really important is communication between us. So, we put the effort to, organize and share our thoughts and the problems and figure out the things together. Otherwise, it feels like, okay, I have this idea, let's do it. And then, it's like most of the time we discuss things together and we make decisions together for the better for the company.
That's good. In Geoblink, did you actually go through an evolution of the structure, or it was this structure from day one?
Oh, no. Yeah, it's been changing quite a lot as you grow. And so before it was just like a small team with like a couple of people doing pretty much everything. And then so as we were growing and we were defining, a more ambitious strategy, we figure out that, we have to, ownership is very important, right? So you have to make sure that the teams are split properly and they feel like they have the tools to make decisions. Otherwise, you don't go fast. So it's been evolving quite a lot and it will evolve. I mean, that's just one step. Yeah.
Correct. Gaurav, how about your side? When did you start to adopt OKR? Is it something recent or it's been quite some time now?
I will say it's quite some time now. So at least I am here since now 2 years and few months. And since my day, first day, we are doing everything around OKRs. So we are quite focused on that part. And yeah, I will kind of share the same feeling like Rafa. So in the beginning also, we had kind of unorganized structure where everyone was almost doing everything because we were a small team, but we wanted to, for example, launch in different cities. We wanted to launch 10 features in parallel. Yeah. So, and later we kind of moved into that, okay, this OKR is owned by, let's say 2-3 people. This OKR is owned by 2-3 people. So we made more, I will say, structured changes around that. Yeah. And now also then we play around along with the KPI. So for example, if I am doing OKR 1, I know that this is my KPI and I will be having a look back when I release that feature. And of course, there is minus and plus on which you have to optimize. So yeah, kind of getting more structure, many more steps to go, but yeah, getting there.
Yeah. Good, thanks, Gaurav. So that gives a nice segue into our next question, which is the KPI. So Gaurav, in your case, it will be quite interesting because as OKRs change on a quarterly basis, as you mentioned, KPI for the team or the person will also change. So can you talk to us a little bit about how do you set the KPI for the product managers in your case?
Yeah, so definitely, like I said, for every OKR or every section, we have different KPIs. So for example, if my mission or vision or my daily life thing is to make sure that we are able to retain the customers, or we are not allowing the churn of the customers, or we are allowing the new customers to stay in, or having less drops, having less bounce rate, all those things. Definitely that depends on the different parts of the OKRs. But if I have to really say that one metric which we follow, or North Star, how they say it, is going to be e-commerce conversion rate. Because if you will see that under this, then I have the whole funnel covered from end to end. And then based on this, I can, if I want to, for example, split it on granular level, or from level 0 to the level where I want to go, I can cover all the metrics, whether they are vanity metrics or the metrics which really depends, or on the part of the user journey where I am, then it all is covered under that. So in nutshell, yes, we have one major metric to focus on, which is, for example, for the product team, because in the end, conversion rate covers everything, that how much orders we are able to place on number of sessions we got. So we kind of get the feeling that how many we lost, how many we gained. And then it gives me a clear picture on how much, for example, optimization I can do on daily basis, on weekly basis, or different A/B test, for example, and then see the results. So yeah, this is going to be my take on that.
All right. Rafa, how about yourself? Does everyone in the product team have the same KPI? How about the KPI for product designers, for example?
Yeah, well, it's funny because we are also using OKRs.
Okay.
So the OKRs are not like a specific, like for one person or one role. They are more for the squads. What we do is we define for the next 3 months the objectives, and we do that, talking a lot with the rest of the stakeholders of the company. So it's something that is it's going to have a high impact for the business. And then they are quite open, so it's not like a specific roadmap of features, those things. And then they really help us to align the different teams and set the scope for each one of them. So at the end of the quarter, then you can look back and say like, okay, that was the expectation for the team. And then, you can measure and learn the things that went wrong and well and whatnot. So there's one good point, which is revenue. So we are a B2B business. So one of the questions that pops up from time to time is for the product teams, should we take like a specific revenue target on our side? Yeah. So in our case, we are not the owners of the revenue. So we are not taking those targets ourselves. Also, most of the time, as a part of the go-to-market strategy, there is the commercial angle, and there are some metrics that we look at, but we are not the owners of those metrics. But I guess one thing that we do with the OKRs is we set OKRs that are cross between teams. So, for example, one of the key results could be how effective our product marketing materials are supporting the sales process, for example. And there is a survey that the sales guy have to provide an answer, and it's somehow measuring how effective we are helping the sales process. That at the end, it's the end goal of the business is to grow and make more revenue and keep growing.
That's good. Yeah, I like the notion of OKR, where it kind of aligns everybody, regardless of your different roles, towards a single common goal that you want to achieve for the quarter. So that's really, really good. Blanca, how about yourself? So yours is a marketplace, it's slightly different. So I'll ask you the same question. Do you take on revenue targets in the product team?
So, well, I'm going to be innovative here and say that we also do OKRs. So it's not that different to what we heard already. And the reason why we introduce OKRs is to ensure that alignment across all functions. So we do have targets or objectives at company level, and let's say our main objective is based on GMV, and then all other KPIs and objectives cascade from there. So we do have GMV and ultimately also revenue objectives for products. But as Rafa said, we normally set ourselves different KPIs. We know we can influence that revenue, but we don't have internally revenue goals, at least not at the moment. I believe we'll get there, and at some point we will optimize our product for revenue, but we're not there yet. So what we're doing at the moment is we're basing, I said we have two different big areas of responsibility. One is customer, the other one is operation. We also have slightly different KPIs for those two areas. So for customer, we're more focused on conversion rates and number of bookings. For the customer areas that are more focused on engagement, we also have KPIs in terms of organic leads or app downloads, that type of stuff. On the operational side, we are more focused on operational efficiency, which could be related to the cost of a booking, the cost of a new listing, the time which it takes for us to close a booking or to list a property. So ultimately, everything goes towards that GMV goal at company level, but we know that each one of us can contribute in different ways, and we set our KPIs based on that.
Very good. Thank you, Blanca, for sharing specific examples. I'm sure it helps, everyone, the listeners as well. Okay, so now next, we have spoken about the team structure and the team KPI. Let's move towards something that is quite a struggle for most of the product leaders everywhere, hiring, right? As startups, we compete against established organizations to attract product talents. So what is your hiring strategy in attracting product people? You can feel free to share example of any interesting benefits or perks that you have for the product team. So Blanca, would you start?
Yeah. Okay, so well, I have to agree that it's very challenging to hire product managers, and in our case, now that we are preparing to scale considerably, this is going to be an increasing challenge for us. So one of the things we do at Spotahome is that we are really active in the startup community, and we are hosting lots of events, meetups, conferences. We have people from the office, both in the product, UX and technical areas, giving those conferences, let's say, and we're also bringing experts from time to time. So we are also like creating brand awareness, and people get to know also our culture. So I think that really works. We also try to partner with other people out there. So we've we've hosted recruitment events with Ironhack and Women Hack, also focused for more like the female community in tech. And those have been very popular. So we also invite other companies, and we take lots. There are lots of candidates coming here interviewing, not only for us, but for other companies as well. So that has been really successful. And we have also partnered with a local company that is called Product Lab. They are training product managers for people that want to become a product manager, or product managers that want to improve their skills. So this is a source of product managers for us. We have some of our product managers teaching there as well. And we also sometimes invite people from Spotahome to do that training course, and because we encourage internal promotions as well. So as an example, one of our engineers, developers, she became a product manager recently. She knows our operations really well. She wanted to change her career path. So we're also very open to that, because our operations are very complex. So it's good to have internal knowledge as well. So we also invest on
that's good.
People.
It's good to know. Yeah, at Spotahome you have a lot of engagement within the community to improve your employer branding, right? So it's very good. I think most startups actually struggle with this. It's actually the brand awareness. Yeah. Rafa, how about yourself?
I guess Blanca is going to agree with me on the fact that Madrid, the community here is, Madrid is the kind of the capital of the country. So you find many corporates and big companies competing for, hiring talent. So what we do is we just focus on the things that set us apart. For example, we have an environment where if you're looking for a challenge and a huge challenge, then and grow professionally and learn, then we offer that. We offer a lot of autonomy, which is another problem that you might have in a corporate where you don't feel that impact. The speed and the agility that we have here, and the fast that we go. But to be honest, it's quite tricky. So it's not so easy. So one of the things that we do is, I mean, it's very basic idea, but if you cannot really find the talent, you cannot develop the talent, and you build the talent. So we hire for the potential, and then we put the effort to help the people to grow and become for example, product manager, or to develop the skills that we need. But again, it takes time, so it's not always an option. And then, for the kind of the benefits that we have, there's one that I would like to mention, which is the zero policy. I think it's working quite well, meaning that, there is no set number of holidays. So you can take as many days as you want. And we're pretty flexible. Again, we are focused on results, and, we trust each other, and, the teams, they have the ownership. So as soon as we get there and we get closer to the objectives, then, you figure out how to get there. And I think that's quite popular. Like people here like the zero policy.
Yeah, of course. I'm hearing it now. I also want to join you, right? Like no limit to the number of holidays. Yeah, very good. And I also like that you've mentioned that you develop talent in-house, that you invest in people and develop them to the role that they want to be. So it's really, really good. Gaurav, is there anything interesting in Zipjet that you like to share in your hiring strategy?
Yeah, but before that, I would like to send my CV to Rafa.
We're hiring.
No, I mean, coming back, yeah, for sure. So I think one of the challenges is definitely to hire the product people, because in my opinion, this is a very challenging role, and it's not kind of a switch role. And by switch, I mean a 0 or 1. Yeah. So for example, if I'm hiring a software engineer or somebody like a data scientist or something, I can give a case study in which there is going to be a result. So I can say 0 or 1. For a product manager, even if we do a case study, it could be, I mean, there could be cases where it is completely dark, but there could be some cases where it is between the gray zone and the white zone. So it is a bit complicated and challenging. Because it's, I think, a very important role, and that's why it is challenging. But here in Berlin, I will say we are kind of in a good situation that Berlin is a very active startup community. So we do also have a lot of participation in meetups. We also host some, not that much, but we do host some meetups and events. And therefore, we've kind of get people from there. And also we have local job boards here in Berlin. We do get postings on, for example, Mind the Product jobs board, which is one of a very big, I will say, lead generator for us. And sometimes we do get good candidates across the world from there. So we are using different platforms, of course, LinkedIn and all. But it's definitely a challenging and kind of goes with the flow on how things are. Coming to the perks, and also we do offer, for example, the startup perks, so like free drinks, and also those are common. We don't have kind of a role where we say that only some specific people are supposed to do it. So we believe in flat hierarchy. Everyone who is coming up with something which is justifiable, that definitely matters. So kind of echoing the same like what Rafa and Blanca mentioned, that we do also promote a lot of internal promotions or internal talent for people who want to transform into, let's say, product manager role. And we did that in the past and also continuously doing it. One of the advantage of that is that we don't have to then train people from fresh. Yeah, so it's also a challenge for them, which they accept. So these are definitely, I will say, a couple of those things on which we kind of keep on rotating. We do have perks. Of course, we try to offer as much as competitive salary as market. So that is one of the thing. And then we offer free laundry. to every employee every month.
Wow.
So one of the perk. And yeah, general other startup perks, like I believe almost every startup does, so I won't get into that. Yeah, but general feeling about that.
Right. Thank you, Gaurav. I like that you say, playing to the strength of a startup, right? So you have more autonomy, you're able to voice your ideas and get that seen through to implementation. So that is one key thing that definitely startups has a strength against the established organization.
Yep.
Okay. So before we wrap up, let me just summarize a few notes that I've gotten throughout this session. So in terms of setting up the team, we've seen that there's a lot of evolution from small teams of single focus to multiple teams now with multiple focus that supports the business, right? In Blanca, she mentioned that there is a team that supports the customer, and then there's a team that supports the internal system, and then there's another team that supports the platform. So as the business grows, it shows that the product teams also evolve in terms of the team structure to support the business accordingly. And then in terms of the KPIs, OKR seems to be quite a very popular theme across everyone. So most of the teams are set up towards a single goal. So that's very good to keep alignment across everybody. And then in terms of hiring, the definitely key takeaway here is to be more active in the startup community, to create more brand awareness, playing to your strength as a startup, which is to give people more autonomy. And I really like the one that Rafa mentioned, where you can get as many holidays as you want. So that is a really good one, Rafa. All right. So lastly, a huge thanks to all of our panelists today, Blanca, Rafa, and Gaurav, for sharing your insights. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Evie.
Well done. So yeah, that's the ScaleUp Heroes of the week. And of course, for the next upcoming years, you will hear a lot about them. So congratulations, guys, for the amazing track record that you have. Great moderation, Ivy. Congratulations, and thanks again for joining another panel now in the moderator role. So communication and alignment is always the same topics that we keep talking and talking and talking every single week here at the podcast. So yeah, that's ScaleUp Heroes. Feel free to share our podcast today and let some of your product leaders know more tips about how to scale up companies with some of the best tech companies in the world. Thank you for being on that side. And yeah, feel free also to let us know if you'd like us to invite one of the scale-ups of your city. So typically over 50 employees, post-Series A, who are scaling quick. And yeah, we are really open to any country, any nation, and we want really to have very diverse panels week after week. See you next week, and thank you so much for the panelists again, and for you, Ivy, Blanca, Gaurav, and Rafa. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.